Hi everyone, I hope that you are doing fine. Today, Franck Leveque of Frost Sullivan is my guest, as we have some very exciting mobility news to share with you today. Isn't it, Franck?
Very exciting indeed, and great to be here, Stephen.
Well, it's great to have you, Franck. Ladies and gentlemen, on the 10th of June, remember that day, the 10th of June, Smart Mobility and Frost & Sullivan will join forces to organize the Smart Mobility Conference. It's the very first international conference with a focus on the needs and expectations of the complete mobility ecosystem. The conference will be 100% virtual, bringing together all main stakeholders in the ecosystem, from fleet and mobility managers with a focus on human resources and compensation and benefits, to the mobility suppliers and the startups. So really a great conference, and of course we hope that you can be there. Franck, it's great that we can join forces, of course, on the 10th of June. Why, for you, it's important that we organize that first corporate mobility-focused conference?
Well, first of all, I think there are many events out there that are focusing on mobility, on sustainability, on HR, but very few, or none, in fact, that are actually looking at corporate mobility, smart corporate mobility, integrating all the new developments in terms of regulations, technologies, demands from the corporate environment for reinventing that corporate mobility environment. That's what I'm super excited about.
And in what way do you think it will create value that we can bring together the stakeholders? So on the one hand, the corporate buyers with a focus on human resources, and on the other, also the industry players. Why it's important that we can match both?
Well, that is the ecosystem, right? Is that capacity, and that's what I find super exciting again in this setup, is to not just bring the suppliers of these solutions, but to bring the buyers, the corporates, and have the opportunity to exchange, understand the pain factors, understand the challenges that the corporates are facing, what they are trying to achieve, at the same time as understand from their side what the suppliers are actually bringing to markets, and try to align the two, and that's probably one of the greatest objectives of this session altogether.
And why do you think that multinational companies need to think mobility today and act today and not wait until tomorrow?
Well, I think the market is changing super fast. In many ways, it has been accelerated through the difficulties that we are facing in the past 1 year now. But we have new regulations that are setting the scene for reduced carbon emissions, reduced traffic jam in our cities. I think that the demand from employees is changing as well. Not every employees want to have a corporate car, but they all would benefit from a diversified offering from their corporate employers for diversified mobility solutions that they can benefit from. So the perks are changing from an employee or an employer's perspective as well. And I think if you bring those regulatory environment changing, the employers and employees demand changes, as well as the new diversity of new mobility solutions that we are seeing, and the integration of them in the mobility as a service kind of solutions for corporates. This is basically why it needs to be taken on straight away, also for corporate responsibility perspective.
Good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you hear it. The 10th of June is the date to mark in your calendar and to put mobility into practice. Answers will be given to questions like how to set up and implement mobility policies, what's the status of the mobility budget, what are the proven solutions in multimodal transportation, car sharing, ride hailing, bike sharing, and much more. And also how to switch from car as a benefit to mobility as a benefit, and not to forget, how can technology support corporate mobility? And this we do via expert presentations, case studies, best practice sharing, but also pitches from startups and innovative mobility service providers. And of course, there will be ample networking opportunities. So we hope to meet with you there. Franck, one final question. What do you hope to see? What would be the ideal outcome of the first Smart Mobility Conference on the 10th of June?
Well, first of all, we're going to learn a lot from each other, and as to me, one of the fundamental purpose of this platform. But more than learning about what we are all doing and the best practices out there, is to learn and to develop together the future of smart corporate mobility.
So, ladies and gentlemen, don't wait any longer. Make corporate mobility a reality and join the first Smart Mobility Conference organized by Smart Mobility and Frost Sullivan on the 10th of June. See you there.